What is going on YouTube? Just kind of here bringing you guys back another deck profile, and today we're doing full power dragon rulers. Sorry if I'm a little quiet. My cat's trying to sleep right here. I'll actually show you guys real quick. Don't mind the mess. I'm sorry, but she trying to sleep. Let me fix this. But yeah, guys, so my cat's trying to sleep, so that's why I'm trying to be a little bit on the quieter side so she can get a little rest size. But today we're doing dragon rulers. The reason that I'm doing dragon rulers is because I simply love the deck, and I wanted to see what they would be like 2022 at full power, and I think you guys would really like to see that too. So I have a lot of nostalgic cards from the dragon ruler area in the deck that might not necessarily still be the best ever for the game, but I think you guys appreciate seeing them. And some of them are upgrades to the original deck, and I think you guys will understand where I'm coming from for these upgrades, and I think you guys should really try giving this deck a try, because it is really fun, and just being able to see the dragon rulers at full power is really cool. Am I glowing? I'm sorry if I'm glowing. I have really bad lighting in here. My ring light, like, it's this, or like, is that better? That's a little better. There we go. Okay, I think that's better. I'm not glowing anymore. Haha. But yeah, so without further ado, let's just hop right into the dragon rulers, and you guys can see what the deck is like. So to kick things off, we have 3 Blaster dragon ruler of Infernos. So this guy is the fire dragon ruler. Basically, you can banish 2 dragons or 2 fire monsters, bring this guy out, or if you have the baby version, discard itself and the baby and another dragon, bring this guy out. You'll see that in a little bit, but this is for the key combo package. Next up is triple title dragon ruler of a waterfall. This is obviously the water version of Blaster. You know, they're all different elemental versions of each other to an extent. So they all have different attacks. So if you see Blasters is 2800 and 1800. The attack of Title is 2600 and the defense is 2000. They all equal out to the same 4600 in total of like attack power, I guess. So the next one is triple Redox dragon ruler of boulders, who attack is 1600 and defense is 3000. 3000 is the highest single number amongst any of the dragon rulers. So Blaster has the highest attack at 2800, and Boulder has the highest defense at 3000, which rivals most boss monsters like Blue Eyes and things like that. Last but not least is triple copies of Tempest. Now, please excuse my not secrets. I kind of wanted to try the gold rares out, and I kind of regret it. But the gold rare doesn't look too bad, but I definitely like the secrets more. So these guys are the bread and butter, and they're what make this deck so freaking powerful, because you can spam them out like hot butter on cheesecakes. I don't know. So yeah, I feel like Cali Effect showed that Monster Disruption can kind of shut this deck down, but through playtesting this and like lots of different like decks going up against it, this deck actually does really well and plays through a lot of different things. I've put this up against Dragon Link, Tier, what else? Dinosaurs, pretty much a lot of stuff that's been on the channel, Synchrons, all that good stuff. And this deck does phenomenal. I used to stand by, I think this deck could come back at full power, but I don't know about that anymore. I think there's a lot of people that could really abuse this deck. So this is pretty standard for the Dragon Ruler setup. So if you guys want to see a version of this deck where I only use one of each Dragon Ruler, and then play the deck around that, make it more of a elemental dragon deck, let me know. But moving on to the next set of monsters. So one thing I did forget to mention about these guys' effects is that when one of these guys is banished, so let's say if you have a hand with like all four and you banish two to bring out like one of them, the banished ones will add a dragon of their attribute to your hand. So Tempest will add a wind, Boulder will add a earth. They don't have to be dragons, by the way. It can be any monster of that attribute, which is why they can be so powerful and splash into things. Tidal, obviously, will be water, and Blaster will be fire. With that out of the way, now we will move on to the next monsters in the deck. We have 2 copies of, what is this guy? Burner, Dragon Ruler of Infernos, or Sparks. My bad. Sorry, I'm still learning the baby names. So 2 of the Burners. 2 Stream, Dragon Ruler of Streams, or what is that? Droplets, my bad. Stream, Dragon Ruler of Droplets. 2 Lightning, Dragon Ruler of Drafts. And 2, I don't know how to say his name. I have to read it. Raktan, Dragon Ruler of Pebbles. So I like him, the little pebble guy. So this is, Lightning is the only one that got a reprint in Super because Tempest got unbanned, which is super booty cheeks because I want all of these guys in Supers or higher. I would love ultimates of all the dragons and baby dragons because that would be really cool looking, but probably won't happen unless the dragons get taken off the list. So anyway, these guys essentially special summon the big daddy dragons from the deck. And obviously the fire, water, wind, and earth ones will correlate to their daddy dragon, like Redox, Blaster, Tidal, and Tempest. But you discard the baby card and you discard another dragon with it and special summon the big daddy dragon from the deck. So that is actually really, really useful because if you have this, any other dragon, and then another daddy in hand, you can ditch the 2 dragons, bring one from the deck, and then banish those 2 discarded cards to bring out another daddy dragon. And then you have 2 bodies on the field that you can either leave out as 2 big, dragon ruler walls, or you can go into an Exceed play, leave that monster out, or you can go into Zeus, or you can go into a Link play now. That Link monsters are a thing with this deck. It's phenomenal. So with the, essentially the whole plan of the babies out, let's move on to the rest of the non-Dragon Ruler deck. 2 copies of Heavenly Zephyr Meridora. Sorry, this card's pretty new to me, so I'm going to have to read it off to you guys. The activation and effect of this card's effects cannot be negated. If your opponent special summons a monster with 2,000 or more attack from the extra deck, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned from the hand, you can target one face-up opponent's monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. Neither player can activate that monster's effects while this monster is face-up on the field. You can only use each effect of Heavenly Zephyr Midoriya once per turn. I realized I called him Midoriya, but essentially this is a extra deck monster negate, which is also level 7, and wind. So essentially, if your opponent tries to play with the extra deck, you say, hey, I don't think so. I'm going to bring this guy out. It's a level 7 hand trap. I also thought about playing the Dark Dragon hand trap. I forget what it's called. Fantastical Dragon Amazement, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. But I would definitely consider cutting one of these for that. But I like the fact that they were wind. But other than that, I could see this guy being played at 1. But 2 has been pretty nice to kind of interrupt those extra deck monsters. Moving on, we have 1 Flammable Guard. This is a little old school, but essentially you bring out Blaster, and when Blaster gets banished, you add this to your hand, and you're able to normal summon it, and you can go into a level 8 Synchro, or in this case, you can go into Link monsters or something like that. You will see a little bit more with the extra deck. 1 Koeki Maru Draco. Oh my gosh. Koeki Maru Draco. Now this is a great card because there's a lot of lights and darks in the deck. Or not in this deck, but in the meta right now. So essentially Tempest can search this guy. So not only is this guy searchable off of Tempest, but you can go into Heavenly Seals, bounce a card, and then once you bounce a card, bring this out, locks out 90% of the meta right now. So this is an insane card for this deck. One Starlight Safer, don't mind the common. I didn't feel like switching out the my higher rarities in the sleeves for the Dragon Rulers. So I just used the common from the Albash structure deck just as a placeholder, but if I were to ever take this deck to a tournament and play with it, I definitely would upgrade these. Might mess around and get a secret rare, I don't know. One red MD just because this is a dragon deck and this deck likes to abuse the crap out of this card. So like I said, I'm using a common because I didn't feel like digging out my super rare. But yeah, this guy essentially just brings all your dragons back. Every single monster in this deck is a dragon. So now, if you don't play by the old tournament rules, you can actually run 3 of this, which I thought about doing. Might still do that. One Destrudo. Sorry, I totally forgot this guy's name. I know I used to play this in Dragon Link all the time, and I totally forgot his name. But Destrudo, the Lost Dragon's Vision. Essentially, if this is in your hand or graveyard, you can pay half your life points and bring it out. And it is a tuner. So essentially, you can ditch this for a daddy dragon, bring out a daddy dragon. And you can't target the daddy dragon because it's level 7. But if you have a different, a lower level monster, let's say like a baby dragon on the field or something like that, then you can target that, bring this guy out. But the whole, like daddy dragons being level 7 already is kind of a hindrance because they are on the field all of the time. So that has made me really consider dropping this card. So with playtesting, I think I am going to try dropping this for something else. I'm not too sure yet. But that is my, deep thoughts on this card because I think this is a great card, but I don't know if it's a great card for this deck. The next monsters that I play in this deck are a bit spicy and they're a bit newer. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about them, but I think this is a pretty cool addition. Amorphage Goliath, Amorphage Sloth, Amorphage Lechery, Amorphage Greed, and Amorphage Gluttony. So Gluttony, I believe, stops, is it effect damage? Once per turn, cannot activate their effects. It is a monster negate. So yeah, Gluttony is a monster negate. Greed is a trap negate. Lechery is spell negate. Sloth is add to the hand negate. And Goliath, I believe, is effect. So while you control an Amorphage monster, any card sent to the graveyard. This is the graveyard banish guy. So this is basically like a Dark Law. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. And your daddy dragons can benefit really, really well off of that. So I also, if I were to take this to a tournament, I would definitely have the other Amorphage cards in the side deck. So that way, if I were to go up something that like tries to do burn damage, especially when Mystic Mine, like if I were to play up against a Mystic Mine deck, since these are both they're both banned decks, I would definitely switch out for I think it's Pride is the burn damage one, but stuff like that. I would switch these out for different Amorphage cards, and even with the Shirdo, I might drop for another Amorphage card because these are pretty dope. You have them in your hand and then you ditch them, but you can always like I have to look into pendulums a little bit more because I'm not sure if they are discarded from the hand, if they would go to the graveyard. That's why I don't really play too many pendulum decks. But in this instance, I don't know if you were to discard them, would they go to the extra deck or the graveyard? But either way, they are pretty dope because they are all searchable off of Redox. And I don't really like try to send them to the extra deck. I normally just send them to the graveyard because that's where they're mostly useful. If I can't like bring them out into the pendulum zone, because like if I have other plays that I need to do, but sometimes you might need to use this, like your Amorphage card, you might have to use that to ditch it with your baby dragons, and then you might end up having to banish it. But typically, that's not what ends up happening. Is typically you can have your plays, and then you have an Amorphage card left, and then you can just play this at the end of your turn. Or if you have Sloth, or, worst case scenario, you tribute a Daddy, and then you just bring out one of them, or you just normal summon one of them, and your opponent's locked out of the extra deck. Granted, you are too, but, like, you have Dragon Rulers. That doesn't really matter. So, yeah, if you guys have a better idea than Amorphage cards, let me know. I thought about playing Dragoonides over this. Like 3 Remus, and then the level 4 guy, Legatus, and then the Baby Rock. I thought about playing that, so I would have access into the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon play. Let me know what you guys think about that. But that's just a thought that I had going forward with the Amorphage cards, so that way you have a little bit easier access to different plays. Moving on to the spell cards, we have triple Sacred Sword of 7 stars. Essentially, you banish a level 7 monster from your hand or field, and you draw 2 cards. So this is really dope because you play this, banish one of your Daddy Dragons, draw 2 cards, and then search another elemental monster off of the Daddy Dragon that you banished. So, honestly, you could probably get away with playing this at 2, but I think this is a really, really fire card for the deck. Just like Sacred Sword, we are playing triple Super Rejuvenation. I only have 1 of the Lost Arts. I would like to get 3 sometime soon, but these make do. So again, I said this is full power. If you guys want to try this deck without this, I can make a deck without these cards, and like as close to being like a legit legal Dragon Ruler deck list for like this like Forbidden Unlimited list for Yu-Gi-Oh! And really, really strictly follow it. But I was like, screw it, I'm already using 3 of the Daddy Dragons. Might as well use the Super Regen. So, yeah, triple Super Regen, you play this, draw a card for each dragon that you discarded that turn. Really OP. 1 Dragon Shrine, I thought about upping this to 3 because you can dump any of the Daddy Dragons or even this Drudo. But I find that other cards have been a bit more helpful than triple Dragon Shrine. So that is why I only run the Dragon Shrine at 1. 1 Gold Sark, because this is essentially it's a double search. You play this, banish one of the daddies. The daddy's search effect triggers, and then in 2 turns you get the daddy back off of the Gold Sark. So yeah, in full power Dragon Rulers, this would be at 3. But I wanted to try and make this a little bit close to the Forbidden Limited list of today, without going too crazy. Like the Super Regen and the Dragon Rulers, I was like, alright, but with Gold Sark, I feel like it's okay at 1. And it's not like I said, I don't want to be too broken and make this just like, oh, screw the ban list, I'll do whatever I want. But I am putting in a little bit of fun. So if you are going to say screw the ban list, definitely run this card at 3 because this is a great searcher for the deck. But yeah, that's my honest opinions on Gold Sark is if it were at 3, I would be playing at 3. But yeah, I know it's a little contradictory to be like, oh, I'm playing Super Regen and all that, but I only play 1 Gold Sark. But yeah, play 3 if you want. If you're straight up just going to be balls to the wall, full power. If you want to be a little close to the ban list, go with 1. Final card of the 40 card deck is Dragon Ravine. This essentially will search any of the Daddy Dragons. You can just ditch whatever's in your hand and then send a Daddy or send a Dragon that you need. And yeah, this really helps the deck out a lot. And this is why I was thinking of playing the Remus package. So that way you could ditch it, bring this out. But honestly, if you played 2 Remus, or if you played Remus, you'd probably play this at 2. So there is that. But let me know what you guys think about this. That was the 40 card deck. Again, let me know what you think of the Dragon Ravine, the Remus ideas, all of that. With that out of the way, let's get into the extra deck. Of course, we have the OGs, like number 47. Obviously, this is banned as well. If you don't want to play this banned card, obviously just play, I say play Zeus over this. I just have this in here because why not? But like I said, I recognize it's a banned card. Just play Zeus over this. Big Eye. This guy is a classic. It used to be an expensive card. Two daddies go into this Steel Monster. It's not super great now, but I just want to be a little nostalgic with the deck. Flare Metal. This is a really, really good card to actually go into with the deck. Because your opponent can just, you'll be doing burn, burn, burn every time they try and breathe. So I actually would 10 out of 10 play this. I might actually, you could cut Big Eye and play 2 of this, honestly, if you really wanted to. So we also have a Gaia Dragoon, the Lightning, or the Thunder Charger. Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger. My apologies. He does piercing damage with 2600. Again, this could also be straight up triple Red Eyes Flow Dragon. I just again have it in here for nostalgic reasons. And one Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack. Again, you could drop this for 2 of it. But again, this is just for nostalgic reasons. If you want to play something else, play something else. But honestly, I'd probably drop this for like a Saruja Dread Skull or something like that. But yeah, these are nostalgic cards. This I would legitimately play because I think it's a great card. Moving on from the Exceed monsters, we are running Trishula, the Dragon of Icy Imprisonment. So yeah, this is a great card. Essentially, you get 3 daddies on the field or 3 dragons. Banish them. You get their search effects. You get this guy, and then you get to banish cards from your opponent. Freaking fantastic. That is the only fusion monster I'm running. So with that out of the way, let's get into Link monsters. One Heretic Seal, because why would you not play this in a dragon deck? This is like the best card that dragons have, honestly. Phoenix, Nightmare Phoenix, because, why not? It's a staple. It really helps with being able to, get rid of spells and traps and pop them. So, because you don't really have a main way of doing that in the deck, so this is your way of doing that. Pisty and Striker Dragon. These are just to kind of, get those 2 sides to try and special summon for Pisty. Bring back your bigger dragons. I know I don't play Boot Sector, but that's not what he's for. Literally, like I said, this is just to try and, recycle your dragons. Romulus, this is to get the Ravine out. And this is what has kind of kept me from playing the Remus combo, is being able to go in this guy and then search out that Ravine, and then the Remus is dead. That's why I would have to play it 2. 1 IP for, being able to mess with your opponent on your opponent's turn. If you go into this and this, you get a pop, and then bring out, you can bring out your, Kuwaiki Maru, my bad, couldn't think of it. And then you can go into another Link monster from there using your IP, because there is a Link 3 non-dark that we play. But the Link 3 dark we do play is Nightmare Unicorn, because staple, try and get rid of some monsters. And then for the last 2 is Black Luster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. This is the non-dark 3 monster I was talking about. To follow up with Kuwaiki Maru in case your opponent is playing a non-light or dark deck, or if it holds you up. Or you can just go into something else and go to whatever you want. So this is actually just a really great card for the deck. And then the last card for the deck is Underworld Goddess, to try and eat up one of your opponent's cards. So this is the extra deck of the Dragon Ruler deck. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And from here, I think we will go into the outro. Okay guys, that was my full power Dragon Ruler deck, and I hope you guys really like that deck profile. And now that I am not glowing as bad because I fixed it, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see next time for the next video. I'm going to try and, I know I say this at a lot of my videos, but I actually have stuff filmed. I have a lot of projects coming. I have stuff about health and working out, because I've been on that a lot lately. I've been doing my own card game, so I have a video on my own card game coming out in the next couple of weeks to maybe a couple months. And if you guys want to see car stuff, like my Mustang and stuff, I actually got that painted and stuff. Check out my older videos. If you guys want to see that on this channel, let me know. But yeah, without further ado, I don't want to take up any more of your time, but before you go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because it really, 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 really helps. And I'll see you guys next time.